We're finally here, guys. 2 goals, a clean sheet, and most importantly, our first 3 points in the Premier League since that Crystal Palace away game. It's been a while, we can't lie, but there was no better place to do it than at Anfield. What a way to bounce back. At the start of the campaign, we had that 5-game winning streak, but this one felt different. It felt like the cleanest, most complete victory we've had so far. What do we mean by the cleanest? Well, we controlled the match for most of it, both with and without the ball. Sure, the opening minutes were a bit shaky, but once we found our rhythm, we looked calm, confident, and completely in charge. Those early moments did give us a scare though. Around the 4th minute, many of us probably thought, here we go again, expecting the same issues that had cost us points before. But this time Arne Slot had something new up his sleeve. He made a few clever adjustments, and as the game went on, they really started to show their impact. So if you missed the match, or just want to understand exactly what changes Arne Slot made to turn things around, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Now, let's dive straight into it and break down everything that happened. As always, we'll start with the lineup Arne Slot went with for this one. Mamardashvili kept his spot between the sticks, with Andrew Robertson, Ibrahima Konate, Virgil van Dijk, and Connor Bradley making up the backline. In midfield, it was the familiar trio from last season: Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and Dominic Szoboszlai. Up front, there were no surprises either, as Cody Gakpo, Hugo Ekitike, and of course Mo Salah led the attack. Now, speaking of Mo Salah, how good was the Egyptian king last night? We can all agree this was probably his best performance of the season, right? He was electric from start to finish. Salah was constantly available as an outlet, keeping hold of the ball out wide and handling the pressure from Lucas Digne with ease. Let's be honest, Digne got skinned more than once by Salah's quick feet. Salah also delivered some dangerous balls into the box, and that came down to the smart movement around him. Szoboszlai and Bradley kept making those overlapping runs, which opened up pockets of space and gave Salah the extra second he needed to whip in those crosses. He looked sharp, confident and hungry again, something we hadn't seen for a while. After struggling with a bit of a goal drought and a dip in confidence, this goal felt like a turning point. Hopefully, it gives him that spark to get back to the levels we saw last season. Now, some people might say Salah's goal was lucky, just a mistake from the opposition that gifted him the ball. But that couldn't be further from the truth. So let's take a closer look at what really happened. Only 4 minutes into the game, Aston Villa hit the post through a Morgan Rogers effort. At first glance, it looked like an early warning sign, the kind of start that makes every fan think, oh no, not again. But it wasn't just the shot that worried us, it was the whole sequence leading up to it that had us concerned. As you can see here, we were pressing Aston Villa high during their deep build-up phase, trying to catch them early and force a mistake. The good thing was that we pressed with real intensity and commitment, with several players stepping up together instead of 1 or 2 chasing alone. Even when Onana dropped deep to receive the ball, Szoboszlai was close enough to put him under pressure right away. Then Rogers appeared in the frame, and at that moment we all thought, surely Gravenberch or someone from the backline would be right on him. But no, just look at the acres of space Rogers had in front of him. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. This is a player who's one of the best ball carriers in the league, with that combination of pace, strength, and balance that makes him so hard to stop once he's running at you. So why was Gravenberch so far off him? Well, it comes down to the usual rule of maintaining a +1 on the defensive line when you press high. Bradley had pushed up to close down Dina, and Gravenberch was pinned back by McGinn's positioning. In just a few seconds, Aston Villa managed to slice straight through our structure and hit the post. Thankfully, unlike what we've seen in previous games, this didn't turn into a recurring problem. Instead, Arne Slot reacted quickly and made adjustments to stop Aston Villa's fast breaks right at the source, their build-up play. The tweak he made was simple but incredibly effective. So let's take a closer look at what changed. This next moment came about 10 minutes after Rogers' early break. It was another pressing sequence, and this time Villa tried to play the ball out wide. What's interesting here is how Robertson positioned himself high and central, right beside Rodgers. That positioning wasn't random, it was part of the adjustment. Robertson stepped up to help control that channel and make sure Rodgers didn't find the same space again. See the trick here? To make it clearer, let's look at another example that shows exactly how this tactical shift worked in action. Here, you can clearly see Robertson's positioning and how he stepped up on Rodgers to cut off Aston Villa's central progression. Behind him, Van Dijk and Konate went man-to-man with Villa's forwards, staying tight and aggressive. And guess what? It worked perfectly. We won the ball high up the pitch in that very moment and nearly turned it into a goal right there. The way we pressed fearlessly with intensity and numbers was exactly why Salah got his goal. It wasn't luck, and it wasn't just a random mistake from the opposition. It was our relentless pressure, wave after wave, that forced Villa into errors until they finally cracked. Even better, our second goal came from a very similar pattern. You can see us pressing high again, man to man. Szoboszlai led the charge alongside Ekitike, setting the tone up front. Behind them, Gravenberch and McAllister stayed ready to cover the middle, while Gakpo and Salah pushed wide to close down passing lanes. Szoboszlai, the maestro in this setup, waited patiently until Pau Torres received the ball before triggering the press. He did it so intelligently, not just closing Torres down, but also blocking the passing route back inside. That left Torres with no option but to go long. Van Dijk, calm as ever, read it perfectly and won the first contact. From there, Gravenberch found himself in a great pocket of space, took the shot, and with a little deflection, the ball hit the back of the net. So that's it, guys. What a performance and what a result. It really felt like the team has turned a corner, doesn't it? From the first whistle, from the 4th minute to the last, we looked confident, organised and hungry. You could sense that desire in every challenge, every press and every sprint. It's been a while since we've seen this level of control and intensity from the boys. And honestly, it feels great to say that again. There's something about the way we approached this game that just felt different. The press was sharp, the movement was coordinated, and the players actually looked like they were enjoying themselves out there. You could tell that everyone was on the same page. And look, credit where it's due, Arne Slot deserves a huge shout out for that tweak in our pressing shape. It might have looked small, but it completely changed the rhythm of the game. It's those little details that make the difference between just surviving in matches and actually dominating them. It also feels amazing to see players like Salah, Gravenberch and even McAllister finding their rhythm again. When they play with that confidence, it lifts the whole team. The chemistry, the work rate, the energy, it all connects and suddenly we look like a team that believes in itself again. Now the big question is, can we keep this going? Was this the start of something consistent or just a one-off? What do you guys think? Do you see this as the moment our season really kicks off? Or do you still have some doubts about the consistency? We'd love to hear what you think down in the comments. Either way, for now, we'll just enjoy this one. 2 goals, a clean sheet, and 3 points at Anfield. That's a proper night of football. If you enjoyed the breakdown and want to see more match analyses like this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.